guys, welcome to another Maya tutorial, and in this one we're gonna talk about asteroids. It's always pretty cool to create these space scenes. You know, when you was kids, you're just like sitting and watching the stars. I don't know about you guys, but I really like space, and it's very exciting. You know, we all watch Star Wars and Star Trek, and always like space is very fascinating. So for this tutorial we're gonna go into creating more realistic type asteroid, like what you see in NASA photos. So we're gonna look at reference, we're gonna see how the lighting interact with the asteroids and the textures as well, so we can aim for more like realistic results. And it's gonna be fun tutorial, it's not gonna be too long. Let's create something today together and let's create this asteroid. Yeah, that's it, let's get started. Okay, so let's start by creating a cube. Let's go create polygon cube. It's better to start with a cube than a sphere because we can get a much better topology, and it's gonna be a much better result. Okay, so for this cube, let's go to the options, and then let's select the subdivision width, height and depth, and let's change that to 2 for each. And the reason we're doing this, so we can start shaping the asteroid to the way we want it to look roughly. Okay, so let's go vertex. Then let's select this side, and then let's push it this way, and let's select this other side as well, let's push it, and then let's move these vertices around. It doesn't have to be like too specific, unless of course you have a specific shape you want to do, but I'm just gonna do like a rough shape. So let's keep pulling these vertices and moving them around. Okay, we're gonna rely heavily on the displacement map to make it look cool, but it's always nice to have like some kind of shape that's a little bit looks nice before we gonna start applying the displacement map. The shape I'm doing doesn't look really nice, but it's gonna do the job for us. Another way, you could go to ZBrush and sculpt the basic geo how you want it to look, but I found this way will be a lot faster and you can achieve pretty cool results. Okay, so now we have the basic shape for the asteroid. Let me pull this side a little bit, and also this side a little bit more, and just pull this point up. Okay, so now we have the basic rock shape. What we need to do now is like we need to smooth it, so we go to mesh and apply smooth. Okay, and we can keep the divisions for now in 2. Okay, so and now what we can do is do a little bit sculpting on it. So let's go to mesh tools, sculpting tools, and then sculpt, and let's double click on it just to make sure we have the options. And let's hold B, and then let's scale it down, and then let's reduce the strength to 2. Let's start just do some sculpting on it, just break it apart, just make it look a little bit more interesting, because now it looks a little bit too uniform. Let's scale this part up. Still, maybe my sculpting tool is a little bit too strong, but it's okay for now. We can always come back and adjust this. Okay, so now we have this shape. Next thing is let's close this one, and then let's create a camera, and let's go to this view and make it perspective, and for this view change it to the camera. Let's push it this way, and let's adjust the aspect ratio, and let's get like more nice view like this, more side, so we can see like the full shape of the asteroid. Now let's render in Arnold and see what we got. Okay, so you can see we got black because we don't have any light. So then let's start working on the lighting. And before I start lighting, I just want to show you a quick reference that I looked at, and this reference I used. It's very important always, of course, to look for reference when you're doing anything for realistic results. And you can see this is from NASA, and it have like a different type of asteroids, and you can see like the different shapes of them. They kinda look relatively similar in terms of like like you know how the surface looks like. But what I really like about this one is we can see like the lighting difference between the really dark shadows and then the light parts of the image, and that's the kind of effect we want to achieve, because in space, you know, there is no bounce lights and there's no like environment type lighting, so we want to make sure in our render we reflect that as well, so the shadows are really dark and then there's really bright areas, and that's actually gonna be really easy to do. So let's go back to Maya, and then let's go to create lights, and let's use just directional light. Let's press 7, so this way we can see the light direction. Let's pull it out. Okay, and let's adjust the angle a little bit, like this way. Okay, let me scale the rock a little bit more. Okay, let's go to the camera view. Let's press 7. Okay, so this is what we have so far. So next thing is let's render again and let's see what we got. So this is what we got so far. Okay, now we need to start working on the shader to get the asteroid start to look more realistic. So let's go to the hyper shade, and then let's go to Arnold, and let's scroll down to the Arnold standard surface. Okay, first thing you can see it's very shiny, so let's reduce the shininess of it. So to reduce that, let's go to the specular and change that to 0.03, so it's really low, and the roughness 0.3. Okay, so we got that. Next thing, let's apply that material to our geo. So you can select the geo and right click and assign material selection. Okay, now if we render, we're gonna get like similar result because we just applied the shader. Next thing is we need to create a displacement map, and that's what's gonna make the big difference here. So we could go with an image displacement, but for this kind of scenario where you want it to be like organic and really looks very detailed, it's better to go with procedural displacement. So let's go to 3D textures and let's click on clouds. So this cloud already you can see it's gonna have lots of details that we can use in our displacement. So let's start adjusting the details here. So first, everything here is pretty good. The depth is good, that's how much detail. So if we go to 1, see like there's no details here at all. So 8 is pretty good, that's the default. The ripples, we can change that, you can play with that, but I found that just keep it default. We get more uniform and more like a random. Okay, but here what's gonna make a big difference if we play with these 3 settings here. So first, the edge, let's take it up to like around 2. Okay, and the center, you can always scrub through them and then you can see what kind of results you get. But I found go around 0.5. And then for the range, we can go up higher to like around 0.6. And then for the ratio, we can go like 0.9. We will adjust these settings, we're not gonna stick with them, but for now let's do like that, and then apply that shader. And also the color here is now very like white, and we want to reduce it down to be, because you know for displacements whites always go like to the max, and black is like there's no displacement. So let's adjust this to be like more like grayish color, so we balance it out so it's not too dark. Okay, and now let's connect this to the displacement. So this is the shader we have, and this is the displacement where we can plug that cloud with. So let's take the out color and plug it in the displacement shader. Everything here should be fine, everything is applied, and we already have the material applied here. So let's close the hyper shade and go to our camera, and then let's render. Okay, and as expected in Maya, nothing gonna work for the first time because there's still some stuff we need to do to make things work better. So first let's go to the geo. For Arnold we have to do it differently, so we need to go to this Arnold tab and you need to scroll all the way down until you see the subdivisions. So type, from none we need to change it to cut clerk. And then iteration, we need to change it from 1, the default, to like, let's go with 6. The higher this number, more displacement details you're gonna get. Height is 1, let's change it to 0.5. Okay, and let's render and see what we got. Okay, so done rendering, and you can see the displacement is incredibly strong and too much detail in it, because you can see these spikes are too many of them. So let's adjust that. So first let's change the height of the displacement, because now it's really strong, to 0.1. and then let's do a render. Let's save this one and then render. Okay, so now when we adjusted the height of the displacement, now it looks much better. It's less intense, but still there's too much of spikes, and that's not how really asteroids they look in space. So let's adjust the cloud shader that we applied to it. Let's go to Windows, Rendering, Hypershade. Okay, let's select the cloud again, and then let's tweak some of the settings here. So now you can see there's just too much of these details, so let's adjust that. So let's go to the center and change that to 0.09. Okay, and then the range, let's change that to around 0.9. So we're basically softening this cloud and just keeping some detail, of course, but we need to soften it so it's not too strong. 0.6 for the ratio. Okay, so let's go to our render. Let's save this image and let's render again. Okay, so you can see now the difference. We start to get more like natural looking asteroid and not like so much of displacement, because we softened the cloud a little bit so it's not too spiky anymore. Okay, so this looks a lot better, but there's one thing here we need to work on. The surface looks a little bit too soft, which could be okay, but in this case let's start adding a little bit more details. And in order to do that, we can use a texture now to get like more nice details, like a texture for adding a diffuse for our asteroid, and also we can add a normal map to get more extra details, because the displacement now did a pretty good job into making all these details, but now we need to take it to the next level. Okay, so let's apply a texture for this. Let's go to Rendering, Hypershade, and let's select the standard surface, and for this texture I'm gonna use this image here. I downloaded from CG Textures, and you can go and you can find all kind of rock textures, and it's a tile texture, which is pretty important because we want to make sure no matter how many times we repeat it, it doesn't look weird. So let's apply this one. And by the way, speaking about textures, I also gonna use this normal map, which comes with this texture that I just showed you, and it's gonna be really good because you want the normal map to match the texture, so this way we can help with the details. Okay, so let's go to that color. Let's pick a file. Okay, that's cool. And then the color space is RGB, that's totally fine. And let's repeat this one multiple times. So let's make sure I'm selecting the right texture. Okay, let's repeat it. Let's see, like 8. We need to repeat it a lot. And then let's apply a normal map. So if you go to the geometry, see the bump mapping, let's apply a texture here. Okay, let's use as tangent space normals. Okay, for the normal map you want to make sure to change from color sRGB to raw, so this way it doesn't alter the color of the normal map, just take it as it is. Okay, so this is all good. So now let's render. Let's save this one and let's render. Okay, so we lost, since the texture is really dark, so we lost a lot of this cool asteroid kind of look that you can see in the reference that we was looking at. So we want still to keep that, but we want to get a little bit of the diffuse texture in it. So what we can do is let's adjust. Let's go to the texture, the file, and then in this color offset, let's start raise it up and brighten this texture. That's a quick way to do it, other than going to Photoshop and start changing things there. You can just do it here in Maya. So adjust that, and let's render and see what we got. Okay, so you can see we did add more details to the surface, but we can adjust this pattern. It's kind of like too strong now, so let's reduce it. And one important thing I forgot to mention, so we changed this repeat to 8. Let's make it 12. Make this one 12 as well, and make sure we do that the same to the normal map. That's one thing I forgot to do. So now the normal map and the diffuse map have the same UVs. So let's save this one and then let's render. Okay, that looks much better. So you can see now, after we adjusted repeat the UVs in both the normal map and the diffuse, we start to get more nicer detailed. So we had this one before, and let's delete this one, this, and now this. We have a lot more detail and variety in the texture, which is always nice to have, you know, to have like some nice details here. Just make it more realistic and looks a lot cooler. Okay, so let's keep going. So let's adjust the light. The light seems is still pretty dark, so because as you can see in the reference, they're pretty bright. Of course we can adjust this in comp, but let's also add some of that here in Maya. So let's select the light, and the intensity, let's make it 1.5. Also for the light, we could change the color a little bit to be more like yellow, but I found that looks much nicer if we kept it like white, because most of the images we get from space is like they have like this white color on the asteroids and the rocks. So let's keep it this way. Okay, so you can see now get it brighter. We can actually go more brighter, so let's go for 2. And let's save this image and then let's render. Okay, that's cool. That's nice. You can see we brighten it up a little bit more. That looks nicer. What we can do now, since this side is super dark, like we can't see anything, it's okay, like in space it's like that, but if you want we can always duplicate our light and then change the direction of it to be from the other side, lower it down, and then let's reduce the intensity to really low, like 0.2, and then make sure we remove any cast shadows, and we don't need to emit any specular. So this light just basically to give a little bit brighter to this side, but we don't want to go crazy, like super low is fine. Okay, so it's a little bit, there is a difference, but it's fine. We don't need to worry too much about it, because now what we're gonna do, we're gonna add a star field. So the easiest way to create a star field is let's create a cylinder, polygon cylinder, and let's scale it up. Let's keep scaling it, and let's quickly go to the top view. I'm just zooming, and then let's delete all these faces. Go back to the perspective, and let's scale this really big. This way, you know, it covers lots of distance and doesn't feel like the stars are so close. Okay, this I think is enough. Now let's apply new material, and let's choose surface shader. Surface shader, so this way it doesn't get affected by the light at all. So let's click File. And by the way, I used this star textures. You can find, like in the internet, there's lots of these star textures. It's pretty cool. Okay, so now we have it. Everything is good in here. And let's go to the camera. And probably we're gonna have a big issue with the stars are too big. So let's press 6. Okay, so I can see now the stars is really huge. So let's adjust the repeat UVs. Let's go 12, 12. Let's go 14 here. This seems too squashed. Okay, looks fine. Okay, before we render, let's make sure we select this surface, and we go to the options, to the shape node. We go to the shape node and we remove cast and receive shadows. This way it doesn't block the light and start casting shadows in our mesh. Okay, so now we have the stars, but the issue now with these stars are really they're too strong, and all of them like look so super clear, and we don't want to have that. We want it to be like they're there, but they're not like super clear. So the way to do it is just to reduce the opacity. So if we go to the surface shader, and you see here the out transparency, this one, if we change it, it's gonna start making our shader transparent. So let's go somewhere around here. Okay, let's save this image and let's render. Okay, so it's finished. I'm not sure if you can see that from the recording, but I can see the stars a little bit, but let's increase the opacity. Okay, I think this is good. I can see the stars definitely in the background, and they're not too distracting, and that's important. Next thing, let's animate the asteroid. Okay, so let's select it, and then let's group it. Control G or Command G on a Mac. Okay, so I want to animate the group, and I don't want to animate the cube itself. And the reason for this is if I want to change the cube or replace it with another one, I can easily do that without, you know, I have to reanimate everything from scratch. So let's do that. So now want to make sure the pivot is in the center. So while we're selecting the group, let's go like to modify center pivot. So now it's the center. Okay, and now we have the frame range from 1 to 120. Okay, so let's start by rotating this asteroid and just pose it in a way that looks more interesting. Let's key it and let's go to 120. Let's move it away from the camera, and let's also rotate it more this way. Let's make sure we always rotate in all angles. Okay, so let's press play. So you can see it's kind of like starts slow but then speeds up and then slow down, and we don't want to have that. So let's change that by going to that graph editor, and while we have all the keys selected, let's change them to linear. This way it's gonna be consistent. Okay, so let's go back and press play. So you can see now everything is consistent in it. And then we can start playing with these rotations. You can just select the last key and then press W. So this way you can move it up and down. So we can like start just moving it up and down like that and just get some nicer shape. Let's see, this could be nice. And let's go back to the first frame. Let's adjust that maybe like this. Start. It could be like this. We could reverse it. So let's reverse it. If we go this way, go back that way. So you can play around with these until you get like something that feels nice. Maybe it's now rotating too much. So let's keep it like that. And let's just push it from here a little bit like this. So it's kind of like moving away from us. So that looks much better. Let's make sure we add rotation in Y as well. So let's select the last key, rotate it this way, go to this key, rotate it the other way. Let's do the same with the X as well. So we can have it like this, facing toward us, and then we go toward the end and it just starts to go away other direction. Okay, so you can see now it has some nice rotations. That's pretty much for animating asteroids. You just need to have like some subtle rotations on it. You don't want it too much. because it depends also on the scale. You know, big objects takes long time to move, and takes like the rotation will take a lot longer than small objects. Okay, so we can render like different snapshots, you know, just to make sure it looks good from all angles. Okay, so you can see it looks pretty good, looks more realistic than before, and with the animation we'll make it like looks more cooler. What we can do, if you want to, we can duplicate of course this. So you go like edit, duplicate special, and let's reset it. So make sure it's gonna be like this. So let's make sure we click on duplicate input graph and click duplicate special. So now we have the another asteroid in this one and inherited all the animation that we just did. So to move it, select the group, and we could basically just move it around by sliding the Z axis. So we can easily do that. We can select the X, Y, Z and then push them down, so we scale it so it becomes smaller. And then this is the translation X, we just select it and we push it, slide it up and down, we push it like in space. And then let's take the Z and push it this way, and then rotation wise we can rotate it, like select the whole Z rotation and just flip it like this way. And then let's adjust the timing on it. So let's make this one like faster since it's smaller. So now you can see, and we can even increase the speed on this one, so it rotates a lot faster. And since it's small, so we can get away with it rotating fast. Okay, so let's say this is good. Okay, so now you can see the difference between the two asteroids, and they're kind of the same shape. We can adjust that if you want. We can easily just select the one you want to adjust, and we can go to the sculpt tool, and we just can like push things a little bit differently, so we quickly adjust it so it doesn't look like exactly the same. Of course we can go to the perspective and do it properly, but for now this will do the job. And let's render. Okay, so you can see this is another asteroid we created, and this is the original one. So yeah, like this way you can create in Maya pretty quickly asteroids, and displacement maps will be like the best way to do that. You could try to sculpt it and keep sculpting to get, but this is like require millions and millions of polys to be able to get like this kind of detailed, and it's gonna be really tough to do it by sculpting. And it's the best way, sculpt just a basic geo like what we just did, and then add displacement maps using procedural texturing, and then have it to adjust it to look the way you want. Okay, one last thing guys before I finish this tutorial is you want to make sure you get this place 3D texture, this one, and you parent it with the rock that you're going to be animating. So in this case, this is the rock we animate, so we can take this and then add it inside the group. And this way what's going to happen is we're going to make sure that displacement, it doesn't change, because this is a 3D texture, and when you move the rock away from it, it's gonna keep changing the displacement, how it looks, because it's changed based on the 3D space. So in order to make sure everything looks correct, you just parent this node, the 3D texture, you parent it with that anim group or the cube itself. So this way when it moves, as you can see, the 3D texture is moved with it. So this way will maintain exactly the same texture you have, and you're not gonna have the animated displacement that looks really weird. That's one tip just to keep in mind when you're doing this 3D texturing for displacement. So yeah, that's it guys for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it and find it very helpful. So now you can create your own space series. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe for more videos like this. Like this video and share it with your friends, and let me know if you have any questions or comments, and I'll be happy to answer them. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.